Hey guys, welcome to video number 4. I need to pick a pen color. Let's go green. It's always good if you're thinking about it environmentally. Question to get us started, or a fact to get us started. Ooh, let's do this. My bad. Printing press. Why is it a big deal? All right, you get Gutenberg, 1456. First printing press with movable type is 20 years later. Books become cheaper because you start producing more, so the value goes down. People get more knowledge. It's win-win-win. In fact, the idea had been around for quite a while. He starts to work on the idea by 1440. By 1450s, he's done with it, and he's able to produce Bibles and other books. So the Renaissance is still going on. That's important to remember. The Renaissance is still going on. And there's all these legacies, things that the Renaissance kind of gives to Europe. All right? Remember, it starts here and kind of works its way that way. All right? I don't know if you can see the green there. If you did a good job on your Know the Renaissance activity, you'd be able to tell me the correct answers. They are C and B there. All right? So today we're going to be able to talk about the Reformation, the Reformation, the Reformation, and the Reformation. What caused the Reformation? Power of the church going that way. All right? The number of people reading and thinking are going, and that's going to cause a problem. And don't forget, like Wu-Tang said, cream, cash rules everything around me. Don't underestimate the money piece here. All right?
Crap.
I'm back. Just thought I'd mess with you. So people don't like the church because it's too worried about money. They're thinking differently because of the Renaissance and because of the printing press. They're reading these ideas and they're thinking, why does the church have all this power? Why does the church have all this money? Doesn't quite make sense to me. They find the church is too interested in worldly things, too secular. Why does the church care about some of the things it cares about? It's none of its business. And really what also they're saying is, wow, I pay a lot of money. They paid what was called a tithe. 10% of all the money they made went to the church. And it's building fancy buildings in Rome. And they're like, remember Rome here in Italy. It's, all my money's going to Rome, but I live here. That doesn't make sense to me. And there had been some criticism of the Catholic Church, corrupt leaders, extravagant popes who live where? Italy. And we have poorly educated priests who became priests partly because the Black Plague had done this to a lot of previous priests. Jan Hus, John Wycliffe, first people saying, wait a second, like they should have like little question marks over their heads. I don't like what the church is doing. They're like, the Bible should be important, not the Pope. Again, then you get Erasmus, Thomas More, also vocal critics, Thomas More, Utopia, and rereading religious works. Because of the printing press, they can read. Now Europeans form opinions about the church, and many of them are not happy. So Martin Luther forms the 95 Theses. The 95 Thesis is a statement of his annoyance with the church. He actually has the guts to go and nail it to the door of a church. All right, there it is, right there. And one of the things he's most annoyed by is the selling of indulgences. Indulgence was basically, back in some churches still believe the idea, here's heaven, here's hell, there's the fire. And somewhere in between is an idea called purgatory. So if your relative was there, indulgences were things you could buy on earth, would get this person released to go up there and make sure they never go there. All right? So in 1517, Luther posts his 95 Theses attacking the pardoned merchants, people selling indulgence. Because of the printing press, these ideas circulate throughout Germany, and the Reformation starts. The Reformation is an attack on the church. The 95 Theses started that attack. What are some of the problems? Again, leaders were corrupt, And many of the uneducated priests didn't know what their job was, and they were breaking their vows. They were being immoral, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They were spending time with people they shouldn't be spending time with in ways they shouldn't be spending the time. So who was Martin Luther? He was a monk and a teacher. He was very, 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 very against the sale of the indulgences. We talked about this. It's a pardon for past, present, or future sins. He writes this formal statement against the church, against the abuses, and because of him, the Protestant Reformation begins. What did Luther believe? Justification by faith. If you believe in the big dog, you can go to heaven. All church teachings should be based on the Bible, and all people with faith are equal. Don't need a priest. You don't really need priests. So what was Martin Luther saying? We don't need the pyramid. What we need is a box where everybody is equal. People can win salvation by good works and faith. Salvation means you go to heaven. You don't go there. Christian teachings must be based on the Bible, not the Pope. And all people of faith are equal. And he really believed that people could read the Bible themselves and don't need the priests. Priests were not happy about that. The Pope is mad. He's like, grrr, grrr. That's his face. Pope Leo X issued a decree threatening to excommunicate Martin Luther by 1520. By 1520, Luther is basically kicked out of the church. And then, unless you take it back. Luther says, I'm not taking it back. The Pope says, take it back. Luther's like, I'm like totally not taking it back. The Pope's like, you should take it back. He doesn't take it back. The emperor gets involved. So now notice the church was involved. Now the Charles V, the leader of the Holy Roman Empire, issues, I love this, the Edict of Worms. Worms is a city, a place in Germany. And he declares Luther a heretic, a bad guy. Luther and his followers begin a separate church called the Lutherans. Pretty creative name. Well, the peasants see this. They get excited. They're like, ooh, if I don't have to be part of the church, then I don't have to be a serf anymore. And the German peasants revolt. Like the Italian peasants revolt. Like we'd see those revolts. Basically, it goes like Renaissance ideas, revolts, and the feudalism. But here, the German princes, all parts within the Holy Roman Empire, crushed the revolt. And about 100,000 people die. Again, inspired by the Reformation, crush. 100,000 people dead. But here's the problem. Germany has all these little princes. Prince, multiple of prince. And some side with Luther and they become Protestants. Others want to side with the regular church. So there's a problem. Charles V fails to return rebellious princes to the Catholic Church. So there's a split. Protestants, traditional Catholics. Guess what these two groups of princes are going to do? War. I don't like you, I don't like me. And there's a war. And the war is ended by the Peace of Augsburg in 1555. And what's really interesting is for the first time, we see what we'd almost call religious tolerance, religious understanding. Each prince can decide the religion of his area. Sounds reasonable. Now the idea spreads to England. Henry VIII, IM, wants a son. He's only got a daughter. He wants a divorce because his wife keeps giving him daughters. He asks the Pope, hey, let me have this wedding. Pope says no. So he gets an idea and he basically creates his own church. Passes a law ending the Pope's power in England. Henry Mowers becomes the official head of the English church. And Thomas More refuses to go against the Catholic Church and is beheaded. Remember Thomas More, we talked earlier about writing Utopia. So there's a German Reformation and a separate English one. The German one was because Martin Luther was mad. The English Reformation is because Henry VIII is mad because he ain't got no sons. Why do you need sons? Sons become princes. Princes become kings. Very good. Arrested and executed. The Act of Supremacy stated that England citizens must renounce the Pope's authority and accept Henry as the official leader of the Church of England. Henry dies in 1547. Remember, it goes Henry VIII, Edward, Mary, Elizabeth. Elizabeth herself is going to face other challenges, just like the Germans. Protestants and Catholics are going to face off. The Catholic King of Spain is going to get involved. And her need for money is going to cause some conflict. So England's in all types of trouble. So by 1559, Parliament creates the Anglican Church, the English Church. Elizabeth creates reforms that tries to please both sides. Many Catholic traditions continued, but priests could marry. Here's a little backstory on Henry VIII. All right. Tetzel is a rogue priest, a priest, bishop who's selling these indulgences. Luther protests. Pope excommunicates Luther. The Holy Rumpenauer. This is a political term here, or political action. This one we will go over in class. It's one of the other revolutions or other reformations take place. All right. Now, you ready? Are you ready for this? Why won't it give me my pointer back? So this video will be a little long because of this. That's selling the indulgences. That's Martin Luther nailing his... I will post the actual link for that video for you guys on YouTube or on Edmodo. Bye.